Welcome back to Talk 21. It's your host, Sam Genova, because I got no co host today. He's,
I mean, you do. I'm
well,
here.
I got my co host, Stefano Pucciano.
So there's a lot of situations that happen in life, and sometimes we get afraid when the people we know will always answer don't answer.
Yes.
So we're not going to say why Dave didn't answer, but we're glad he's okay.
We're actually going to say why Dave didn't answer. I was worried this morning because I called Dave for the podcast and he wasn't answering, and I even messaged his wife. So, being concerned, a good friend, I'm like, what's going on? My brain is going many, bad thoughts. Unfortunately, it's the way it is when you're used to someone picking up the phone.
Uh-huh.
And he calls me back an hour later, and he says he's got a problem with birds' nests in his house, and he forgot about the podcast. Dave, I love you like a brother. We're just calling you out, buddy.
So luckily, Dave is okay. The birds, I don't know what the situation
Hopefully, he
is, but
took
we'll
care
find
of
out.
the birds.
Just, I want everyone to make sure that the next episode they stay here because when Dave shows up, we're going to give it to him nice.
We're going to rip him a little bit.
So listen, Sam, before we get into this episode, which I think it's going to be very beneficial to a lot of the first-time home buyers, younger generation, and maybe even downgraders, who knows? But more importantly, we're on the cusp. Now it's summer. In your 15 years of doing real estate,
Yep.
have you come to love summer in the real estate market or have you come to hate it in the real estate market?
So summer usually in the real estate market, my first 10 years were a little bit more like quiet. People travel, they're busy with their kids. But when things went really nuts in COVID, it didn't really matter what time of year it was.
Forget COVID.
Yeah.
I'm talking about on an average.
So now on average, yes, things do slow down. Well, in general, we know we're in a downturn market. It is a buyer's market right now. Prices have come down. If you read articles and talk to professionals, it's well over 20% now. And they think it's going to fall another possibly 10, 20% this year. Who knows?
So for you, summertime is more so people let off the gas, maybe go on vacations. They're not really buying.
Once the kids get out of school, they have their summers planned. You have kids.
Of course, you do
keeping the
too,
kids.
yeah.
Keeping the kid. First thing is like, oh my God, how do we keep these kids busy for 2
that's right.
months? And this summer has an extra 2 weeks.
What do you mean?
It just the way the year is, and going into the next year, they start later and they finished earlier. Because I think my kids last year finished the 29th. But this year they're finishing tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day, which is the 25th.
Yeah, so my kids finished 26.
So, and I think they go back like the 7th or the 8th. So technically it's like almost 2 weeks longer.
I thought, so isn't Labor Day always the 7th? Or actually, no.
No, it
Last week,
changes.
I think it was the 3rd or something.
Yes,
like
it started early last year.
that. So we have 2 more weeks of figuring it out.
Yeah, with the kids.
Okay.
Which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But it's that your mindset goes into what do we do in the summer? Traveling, where we're going with the kids.
Do you do camp? I don't do camp. My
With
kids
kids?
don't like camping.
Yeah,
they don't
we
like.
do.
No. I mean, no, summer camps. I mean,
So yeah, we do summer camps for sure.
because my kids just don't like it.
Really?
Because they nonnas and there's just too much to do. To be quite honest.
You know what though? I don't know how I would fill the summer without keeping them in like camps, dude.
For a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so they go to their school camp for 2 weeks, and all their friends from like aftercare are there. So for them, it's like a party.
What do you mean, school?
So they go to aftercare at school. So
they
like
they
when
offer summer camp.
yeah, and they have summer camp at their school, and they can walk
Ah.
them in the morning. It's amazing.
Fantastic.
So that kills 2 weeks, and
Beautiful.
they're loving it because when they go home, I don't know how your kids
Yeah.
are, but my kids, it's like,
Uh-huh.
dude, if I needed a demo, I got my crew,
Uh-huh.
Leo and Camilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It
it's just
doesn't
like
change with age.
no.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
know.
just like it's crazy, but it's all fun. It's all
It's
good.
it's all good, and I think in every parent. Man, I didn't know 2 extra weeks. Dang.
Yeah, this is a long summer, brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. They grow up real quick. I'll
They
tell
do,
you that
they
one
do,
first time.
they
Your
do.
kids are 5 years old.
7 now, bro. 7.
What?
Yes.
And my kids
sir.
are 12.
12.
Oh, they both already have boyfriend girlfriend.
Oh
Yeah.
boy,
But
buddy.
the girls that we'll tell you off air. But anyway,
Okay.
okay. So listen, guys, buckle up. This is gonna be a good one. If you're interested in figuring out what to do with a $500,000 investment, this is the challenge that I present to Sam Genova. Now, first of all, how far does 500,000 get you nowadays? I'm not talking about cash liquidity. I'm talking about
Just
I got a
purchase price.
budget. Yeah.
Yeah. It's better than it was 2 years ago, but still in the city for 500,000, it's very hard to find
Really?
much. Yeah.
Still?
Yeah, like even condos, like If it is, if you're gonna make it work at 500,000, it's gonna be basically uh, like a like a dog crate. It's
Really?
gonna be very small, yeah, because
I thought some of the really nice ones that were priced at, let's say, $7.99 have now dropped down to $4.80.
where are
Maybe,
you
maybe
gonna
not.
find? Like,
Maybe
I
not.
mean, where? Tell me where they're 480.
Vaughn, Portage. Well, those are dog crates in the sky, I think.
That's what I mean.
Ah,
Like,
okay.
so you're gonna find, you'll find some, but they're gonna be basically the ones that investors bought like 10 years ago at 500 because nobody else really, they're not really like a living space. Like those are quick turnover, a
Quick,
lot of
quick
rental.
bachelor pads.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean, if you go out of the city, then obviously your money is gonna take you a little further. You
And
can get a little bit bigger unit.
all right, so Sam, because you just said sometimes you get a better deal outside the GTA, let me present you with these questions, okay? This is the investment challenge that I want to talk to you about. Now, you got that $500,000 to invest. Are you going GTA or are you going outside the GTA? What is your first call?
So I look at it as it's a good question. I look at it as if I had $500,000, what would I do? And that's how I always ran my business. If people wanted to be in the GTA, you're gonna have a challenge. So I always look at even if somebody wanted to buy an investment property, you gotta have a space that's gonna be comfortable for whoever's gonna lease it or if you're gonna live there. So I'm always about square footage and price per square feet. So if you're gonna go out of the city and you have a budget of 500,000, you're gonna get a lot more. So for me, space and layout, whether it's a condo or a home, is everything. Sometimes you can find smaller units that when you go to actually see the unit, you're actually surprised because the layout's really good and it looks a lot bigger than it is. And then some of them you go online, you'll see, oh, this is 750 square feet. You go there and it's like, wow, this layout is terrible. So layout is everything, you know, whether it's a condo or a house, but definitely with $500,000 budget, out of the city is going to be the better option for sure.
And and I want to clarify, because we're talking about a $500,000 investment challenge episode, it doesn't necessarily mean it's for only people who are buying. I want this to be a general scope of maybe people have the money, they're currently renting or currently living with a loved one or family member, and they have 500,000 to invest, either to buy, to sell, to rent. So the next one is, now, if you had this $500,000 investment opportunity, would you fixate your attention on condos, townhouses, detached, duplex, or triplex? What do you think would catch your attention right now?
Well, I think that we all know that condos are not the best investment right now, but I feel like, even at that kind of budget of 500,000, your probably best bet is going to be condo. But if depends how far you're willing to go. Like if you're willing to go an hour and a half out of the city, then you can look at the townhouses and detaches. But for 500,000 for a detached, you got to go still really far. So your best bet's going to be a condo, or hopefully you can get into maybe a stacked or
Duplex, triplex, not even in the conversation with 500?
no, but that would be the smartest if you could, because then you can, if you have a duplex or a triplex, you live in one unit and you collect rent for the other. So
But you would need more than a $500,000
yeah,
investment.
yeah, those are really good. Those are really smart buys because people can live in one and rent out two and basically live for free, but depending on how much your budget is. So those are always high properties on everybody's kind of watch list, and it's just lately the way things were going, it just became unattainable. It didn't make sense because they were so expensive. But
And now we get on to a very interesting question, something that I currently do because I think it's in my best interest right now. But would you buy a rental today? So would you take this 500,000 and say, let me keep it in the bank, but let me look into renting? So what about that? What about people keeping the money in their account and just renting and not worrying about the market?
you know what? Right now, I would say hold off. Just hold off and
Hold off on renting, or
just hold off on buying, just
Okay.
to see where the dust settles. Because people are saying, and I'm kind of seeing that as well. the prices are still continuing to come down. So, I mean, also you got to keep into consideration that rents have come down a bit too. So you have to look at the big picture, really do your homework, crunch your numbers, and see where you're going to be. So it's not an easy question the way it used to be. So now it's kind of complicated because the numbers got to make sense. Rates at the bank have kind of gone up with this whole economic issue and the war. So there's a lot of factors you got to take into consideration when you're buying. And a lot of people will tell you, yeah, now's the time to buy, but I don't really know if it's time to buy. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I fully understand what you're saying because a lot of people are now taking and you know because you got into this market for a reason. The best investment you could ever do is get into real estate. That's what it used to be.
Yeah.
Now things have shifted. Now let's assume that same person still has 500,000, but they come to you and they say, "Should I leverage this money into real estate, or should I take this money and maybe jump into the stock market, or maybe get into a hobby that has a great return on investment?" Right now, collectibles and collectible cards has just literally skyrocketed. So now, would you suggest those people take that 500,000 and invest it outside of the real estate market?
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of people who heavily invested in real estate are now looking at it with a different approach. They're not taking that money right now and investing it in real estate. They're doing other things. They're putting it in the stock markets. They're putting in collectibles, assets that you can, buy. Like, I'm in the sports cards industry and people
Is it
are
the
buying.
safest thing to do though? Like, so now let's talk about safety in this grand scheme of things, because still stock market's volatile, but real estate is not giving you that 10, 12% every year return on investment. So do you think people should explore outside of real estate when it comes to investing 500,000?
I think so, because just if you can buy when, again, timing the market's impossible. I mean, I'm a realtor. I bought my house in 2022 when the market started to come down, but like people would say it's probably the worst time to buy. But
Then you bought on the upswing or the downswing?
just when it started going down.
Oh, just when so you got more in the peak. You bought in the peak?
Well, I actually got a good deal on my house, but yeah, people would say it wasn't the peak. It was the time where, because rates had started to go up.
Okay.
So people were scared. People were like, it was a time where people were just sitting there watching what was happening.
But
So
were you in the bidding war moment?
I it was over asking what I paid for my house. Yes. But so timing the market, like I said, is just, it doesn't matter what you do. You never have the time. So real estate is always, and I think now with what you can buy stuff with it's going to go up, but it's going to be, I think, a healthy, slow 2 to 5% raise the way it's supposed to be, which is healthy. So being in real estate, you always believe that it's one of the best investments to make, but it's just lately, with everything going on, rates, this, that, and the other, you got to do your homework, right? It's you could put your money, if you had that kind of money and invested in big cards, you can flip that and make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, make
Just
a lot of money.
you would have to get informed on which cards would give you the best return on investment.
like it's not something you're just gonna you got to connect with someone who knows the market and can make that money. But again, nothing's guaranteed, right? But it's
even collectibles though, if you sit on it technically,
yes, it's like anything, right?
it's like anything.
It's like anything.
But the boom happened with collectibles, I guess, during COVID. Probably.
well, that was when, that was a big boom when it started, because everybody was at home. They had this money coming in from
Yep.
the government, so people really they were bored at home, and all these people were breaking, which means opening boxes, and people were buying into like cards and packs and this, that, and the other. So it exploded. Now Tom Brady's got 15 stores, the Vault, all across the U.S.
Well, what does he do? He sells collectibles.
He's got locations. Yeah, he's
Of,
got
like,
stores.
cards?
Yeah.
Really?
He's very big into collecting, Tom Brady, and Giannis, and all these guys buying these big cards, buying their Logo Man 101s. LeBron's collecting, like all the guys are collecting. So now it's like mainstream. Like it's like everybody now it's cool to collect. Where before you're like, oh, you collect cards? That's
Of
like
course.
nerdy. But now it's like it's cool. Like you're holding a piece of history, right?
Well, the one thing that I am going to say before I do want to close on that, but I want to close on this topic right here. So if you had $500,000 investment, the one underrated and overrated thing I want to make a comment to is, what about if they start to go down the rabbit hole of social media and they're listening to all these real estate influencers? Do you think that people with this kind of investment, will they come across bad advice or good advice?
Yeah, it's kind of, listen, I look at the internet always as take it with a grain of salt, you know. Talk to a professional, talk to somebody you can trust, somebody you know is going to have your best interest. Someone's going to take care of you. Like, I've always run my business like I was the buyer, or I was the seller. What would I be looking for? You know, and it's the question you should be asking when you're buying and selling is, when I would go into listing presentations, I would ask the clients, what do you want? Right? Like, what are you looking for in a realtor? You know, and really listen and provide the best service you can for them. Right? So listen, I mean, if you're looking at duplexes and triplexes, those are always great investments long term. If you can get something for $500,000, which it's going to be really far, those are great because you can live there if you wanted to, or collect rent. And those are multi-res are really, really, really good investments.
Now, we've come to the point where I got to ask you a final statement, and that is, if investments, especially in cards, is something that you really feel is a great passion, do you feel that outside of what we talked about today, as a starter investment, do you think people should get into this hobby and just kind of dabble in the idea of collectibles and investing and maybe putting their money towards something that brings them joy?
That's exactly it. I think you have to appreciate, it's like anything you do in life. If you're doing it just for the money, don't do it, because it's not going to work. We've seen a lot of people come into the space, invest a lot of money in the wrong cards, and lost all kinds.
Or they ended up losing.
Yes, because you're buying the wrong stuff. You're getting influenced by the wrong people. People are taking advantage of you. So again, it's like anything else. If you have somebody you trust, somebody you want to ask, I mean, you can always ask me, you know, questions or whatever.
Do you have a Instagram for your collectible card stuff?
No, I don't. But you can just reach out to me on my Instagram page. It's fine.
Yeah, and what is that exactly?
It's Sam General Real Estate. Yes, it is. I didn't forget. Don't worry.
Good. So honestly, the very last thing I got to say is we live in a very difficult market, but I really do believe that the real estate market will always bounce back.
For sure. It's resilient.
But we just have to change our mindset, I think. The problem is that we had the pre-COVID, which was great. Then we had the COVID, which was nuts. Now we're having the bad spill of COVID, which we don't know. So this is the last question. What is the last stage of this transition? What stage do you think we're going to come into?
I think this is it, because they finally admitted we're in a recession, which this recession started. And if you ask my opinion, as a realtor, we're the first ones that see it. This started in 2023.
That long ago?
So yeah, if not, the beginning of 2023 is when I started to see the shift.
So 3 years.
Yeah, definitely 3 years.
And now do you think we have to still wait 3 more years?
Before it bounced back?
Yeah. Or maybe more, or maybe
it
less?
all depends if the government implements some rules like they've done pretty decently with the new market, the new home sales, like getting rid of the HST and providing some bigger savings there. So that's kind of given an uptick to the new houses. So that was good. But they got to do, I feel like they got to do more, the government. They got to implement something that's going to help younger generation getting into,
the market.
Into the market.
Because they just can't.
It's first time buyer, whatever incentive that they give, it's not enough. I just hope that they figure something out where they can make Canadians who were born here, raised here, be able to afford a home to continue to live here, because people are going to be leaving.
That's right.
Right.
Now, before we leave, say it again. What's your Instagram handle?
You can find me at Sam General Real Estate.
And there is a co-host, but let's just help him out.
Yeah.
Where can we find Dave? C21.
C21
Fine Living Realty.
It's Dave. He's not here today.
Dave, it's okay, Dave. So Sam, listen, until next time, we'll talk to him later.
Yeah, we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.